Sup spread our bread, Grandpa said, with the butter side up. That's right, honest way. Grandpa gritted his teeth, so you can't trust a zook who spreads bread underneath. Every zook must be watched. He has kinks in his soul. That's why, as a youth, I made watching my goal. Watching zooks for the zook watching Border Patrol. In those days, of course, the wall wasn't so high, and I could look any zook square in the eye. If he dared to come close, I could give him a twitch with my tough, tufted, prickly snickberry switch. For a while that worked fine. All the zooks stayed away and our country was safe. Then one terrible day, a very rude zook by the name of Van Itch snuck up and slingshotted my snickberry switch. With my broken off switch, with my head hung in shame, and the chief younkaroo in great sorrow I came. But our leader just smiled. He said, "You're not to blame, and those zooks will be sorry they started this game. We'll dress you right up in a fancier suit. We'll give you a fancier slingshot to shoot." And he ordered the boys in the back room to figure how to build me some sort of a triple sling jigger. With my triple sling jigger, I sure felt much bigger. I marched to the wall with great vim and great vigor, right up to the Van Itch with my head on the trigger. "I'll have no more nonsense," I said with a frown, "from zooks who eat bread with the butter side down." Van Itch looked quite sickly. He ran off quite quickly. I'm unhappy to say he came back the next day in a spiffy new suit and a big new machine, and he snarled as he said, looking frightfully mean, "You may fling those hard rocks with your triple sling jigger, but I also now have my hand on a trigger. My wonderful weapon, the jigger rock snatch 'em, will fling 'em right back just as quick as we catch 'em. We'll have no more nonsense, we'll have no more gut from you yooks who eat bread with the butter side up." "I have failed, sir," I sobbed as I made my report to the chief younkaroo from the headquarters fort. He just laughed. "You've done nothing at all of the sort. Our slingshots have failed. That was old-fashioned stuff. Slingshots, dear boy, are not modern enough. All we need is some newfangled kind of a gun. My boys in the back room have already begun to think of a walloping whiz-zinger one. My bright boys are thinking they're on the right track. They'll think one up quick, and we'll send you right back." They thought up a great one. They certainly did. They thought up a gun called a Kickapoo Kid, which they loaded with powerful poo-a-doo powder and ants' eggs and bees' legs and dried fried clam chowder. And they carefully trained a real smart dog named Daniel to serve as our country's first gun-toting spaniel. Then Daniel, the Kickapoo Spaniel, and I marched back toward the wall with our heads held up high, while everyone cheered and their cheers filled the sky. "Fight! Fight for the butter side up!" Well, we didn't do, and we didn't quite die, but we sure did get worsted, poor Daniel and I. Van Itch was there too, and he said, the old pig, "The boys in my back room invented this rig called the 8-nozzled, elephant-toted boom blitz. It shoots high-explosive shower cherry stone pits and will put your dumb Kickapoo Kid on the fritz." Poor Daniel and I were scared out of our wits. Once more, by Van Itch, I was bested and beat. Once again, I limped from the wall in defeat. I dragged and I sagged, and my spirits were low as I thought they ever could go, when I heard a boom-ba and a diddle-dee-dill, and our butter-up band marched up over the hill. The chief younkaroo had sent them to meet me, along with the right-side-up song girls to greet me. They sang, "Oh, be faithful, believe in my butter," and they lifted my spirits right out of the gutter. "My boy," said the chief younkaroo, "we've just voted and made you a general. You've been promoted. Your pretty new uniform's ready, get in it. The big war is coming, you're going to begin it. And what's more, this time you are certain to win it." My boys in the back room have finally found how. Just wait till you see what they've puttered up now. In your great new machine, you'll fly over the wall and clobber those butter-down zooks once and for all. Those boys in the back room, they sure knew how to putter. They made me a thing called the utterly sputter, and I jumped aboard with my heart all aflutter and steered toward the land of the upside-down butter. This machine was so modern, so frightfully new, and no one knew quite exactly just what it would do, but it had several faucets that sprinkled blue goo, which somehow would sprinkle the zooks as I flew and gum up that upside-down butter crew. I was pacing pell-mell when I heard a voice yell, "If you sprinkle us Zooks, you'll get sprinkled as well." Van Itch had a sputter exactly like mine, and he yelled, "My blue gooer is working just fine. And I'm here to say if yooks can goo zooks, you better forget, because zooks can goo yooks." I flew right back home, and as you may have guessed, I was downright despondent, disturbed, and depressed. And as I saw just as soon as I stepped back on land, so were all of the girls in the butter-up band. The chief drum majorette, Miss Yuki and Sue, said that was a pretty sour flight that you flew, and the chief yukaroo has been looking for you. I raced to his office. The place was a sight. "Have no fear," said the chief. "Everything is all right. My bright backroom boys have been brighter than bright. They've thought up a gadget that's newer than new. It's filled with mysterious moo-lack-a-moo and can blow those zooks clear to Salamagoo. They've invented the bitsy big boy boomaroo. You just run to the wall like a nice little man. Drop this bomb in the zooks as fast as you can. I have ordered all yooks to stay safe underground while the itsy big boy boomaroo is around." As I raced for that wall with the bomb in my hand, I noticed that every last yook in our land was obeying our chief yukaroo's grim command. They were all bravely marching with banners aflutter down a hole for their country and right side up butter. That's when Grandfather found me. He grabbed me. He said, "You should be down that hole and you're up here instead. Perhaps this is all for the better somehow. You will see me make history right here and right now." Grandpa leapt up that wall with a lopulous leap, and he cleared his hoarse throat with a bopulous beat. He screamed, "Here's the end of that terrible town full of zooks who eat bread with the butter side down." In that very instant, we heard clup, clup, 2 feet on the wall, and an old Van Itch clumped up. The boys in his back room had made him one too. In his fist was another big boy boomaroo. "I'll blow you," he yelled, "into pork and wee beans. I'll butter side up you to small smithereens." "Grandpa," I shouted, "be careful, oh gee. Who's going to drop it? Will you or will he?" "Be patient," said Grandpa. "Be patient. We'll see." What do you think's going to happen?
They're not away.
What if they decide not to drop either one? Wouldn't that be best?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or how about they outside have their cut on their bread with the butter side down and the other side cut their bread with the butter side.
So they could try the butter on the top or the bottom and see, right? Yeah. Because that's not really very important, is it?